Well, hello, class. We're beginning the fall semester at AUM. My name is Rhodes Peel. This is a YouTube video to orient you toward the course, Pre-Calculus with Trigonometry. It's Section D of Math 1150. It's the only section of this course that's fully online this semester. The course meets via Zoom from 12:20 to 2 on Tuesdays and Thursdays. But at the beginning of the course, we will have short YouTube videos. These will run about 15 to 25 minutes, and their purpose is to, frankly, introduce the material. But even more than that, I don't want to depend entirely on the Zoom instruction, because I'm not yet an expert in using Zoom. So in the spring, we went online. The entire university went online for about a third of the semester, and I had experience using YouTube videos. I feel more comfortable with those. So we will have some YouTube videos. Of course, we'll have our Zoom instruction, but as I improve and become more comfortable with Zoom, I may phase out the videos. So my name is Rhodes Peel. I'm retired from AUM, but I had a long career as a math professor, going all the way back to 1990. I retired a few years ago. I'm now an adjunct instructor. Okay, so I have and most of this material is available on your syllabus, but I'm going to go over it again. I have two e-addresses, a campus address and a home address. Either of them work, but it's better to use the home address because I'll likely respond to it sooner. I also have a cell phone. I don't have an AUM phone. This is my personal cell phone. It's a local number, 328-5973. Feel free to call me at any time. If you call me during my office hours, I should have my cell phone right in front of me. If you call at other times, you can leave a text message and I'll respond to it fairly quickly, or try to. So our textbook is Pre-Calculus 10th edition by Ron Larson. You can either use an electronic or a printed version, but the textbook is very important. You're going to spend a lot of time studying it this semester. Let's see here. Now, as I mentioned, the methods of course delivery are YouTube videos and Zoom conferences at our regular class time. Make sure you view video before class time. Now, we don't have face-to-face interaction this semester. We need to do something to maintain communication, make sure you keep the course up to date. This is terribly important to do this. So what I'm going to do is have two kinds of homework. We're going to have ungraded homework. So what you'll do is you'll study the textbook carefully before you do the homework, and then I'll assign odd-numbered problems and you'll check your answers in the back. Try to break it. Many students in mathematics have a bad habit. They look at the exercises and only when they feel they need to, that's when they consult the textbook. I hope you can win yourself off that bad habit and study the textbook first. You need to spend a lot of time studying the textbook, actually. So we're also going to have graded homework. Now, what I'm hoping is that this will allow us to maintain a good communication this semester, so that you don't lag behind in the course and we don't have any train wrecks or unpleasant surprises when the tests come along. So what I'm going to do is just about every day that's not a test day, I'm going to give you 5 problems that, typically that I compose myself. They'll be similar to the ones in the textbook. And you will submit these a week later or sooner than that if you like. So this is much more graded homework than I usually do. Normally in my teaching face-to-face, we have about 5 or so short quizzes during the semester. They typically take 10 or 15 minutes, but I'm seeing these students every day. So I'm not seeing you at all this semester unless you run into me accidentally. And so we're going to stay in communication by having daily interaction. I assign homework, you do it within a week and submit it. We'll talk later about how you can submit it, the various ways you can do it. Now, this third page is to orient you toward where this course sits in your curriculum, why pre-calculus trig measures. It's terribly important for you to learn this material. Ultimately, you want to graduate and have a great career, right? So you're going to be studying all kinds of subjects depending on your major. Subjects like more advanced math courses, physics, chemistry, engineering, biology, etc. Very many of these courses assume Calculus 2 as a prerequisite. Calculus 2 requires Calculus 1 as prerequisite. And Calculus 1 needs pre-cal and trig as a prerequisite. That's why it's called pre-cal. So this is a foundational course, and you really have to learn this material very, very thoroughly. If you get a good foundation, you can expect to do much better later on. By the way, pre-cal trig doesn't exist in a vacuum either. It depends on your high school math. I hope you have a good background. Theoretically you do because you were placed into this course. So you'll know whether you're where you belong fairly soon, you know, in 2 or 3 weeks you'll be able to tell. All right, I think we don't have access to it. Very briefly, let's introduce the first topic in the course. It's in sections 1.4 and 1.5 in your book. So the topic is functions. So let's have an example of a mathematical function. If I were doing this face-to-face, I would go much slower. I try to keep these YouTube videos quite short, 15 to 25 minutes. Example of a mathematical function. I don't know if it's in the frame or not, but this is our dog, Innie. Okay, so here's the function. Y equals f of x equals x cubed minus 3x. X squared minus 3x, let's make it simpler, not cubed. Now I'm going to go fast here because most of you, and I hope all of you, have seen function notation previously. When we write f and then parenthesis x, we don't mean multiply the numbers f and x. F, in fact, is not even a number, so we couldn't multiply f and x. F is the name of a function, so if we write f by itself, it's the name of this function that we've just defined. Now, the way it works is it's a rule that assigns to any numerical value that we give to x an output value. So x is the input variable, y is the output variable. We also refer to x as the independent variable and y is the dependent variable. So we can make a table of values. All right, so here's x and here's f of x. So let's go, say, from -1 to 4. All right, so let's calculate, for example, the value f of -1. So we give x the value -1 and find the value of y. So it's -1 squared minus 3 times -1. So -1 squared is 1. 3 times -1 is -3, but there's another minus, so we have a double negative here. So 1 plus 3 is 4. So the value of the function is 4. F of -1 is 4. The function f assigns to the x value -1, the y value 4. Let's do the others more quickly. If x is 0, what would y be? That's an easy one. 0 minus 0 is 0. No problem with that one. Now f of 1, we put a 1 here and a 1 here. So 3 times 1 is 1, 1 squared is 1. So 1 minus 3 is -2. What about 2? So f of 2 is 2 squared minus 6. 2 squared minus 3 times 2. So that's 4 minus 6, also -2. Notice, by the way, that f of 1 is -2 and f of 2 is also -2. You can have different x values with the same y value. You can't have different y values and the same x values, by the way. That's not permitted for a function. So f of 3 is 3 squared minus 3 times 3, that's 0 again, isn't it? And f of 4 is 4 squared, 16 minus 3 times 4, which is 12. So the function values that we got are 4, 0, -2, -2. This one, by the way, I did wrong. What is f of 4? What value does the function f assign to the x value 4? Let's calculate it. F of 4 is 4 squared minus 3 times 4, 16 minus 12, which is 4. Okay, and this, by the way, is a quadratic function, and we'll be studying those in detail fairly soon. You can graph functions, by the way. Okay, so let's copy this table over again. Now let's get ourselves a coordinate system. So here's the x-axis. Here's the y-axis. I'm going to size things so that this data will fit conveniently. So we're going to go from -1 to 4. So here's 4 on the y-axis. Here's 0, here's -2. Okay, so when x is -1, y is 4. Let's plot that point. When x is 0, y is 0. When x is 1, y is -2. When x is 2, y is still -2. When x is 3, y is 0 again, and when x is 4, y is 4. So these points fall on the graph of the function. Now, the function is also defined for numbers that are not whole numbers. You could let x be 3 over 2, for example, and that would actually give you the lowest point on the graph. So the graph looks something like this. And you can produce a table of values, and you can also produce a graph quite easily by using a graphing calculator. The one that's recommended for this course is the TI-83. All right, that's a very brief introduction. I'm going to be sending you an email giving you the ungraded homework and the graded homework for this first assignment. And the reading assignment, by the way, is sections 1.4 and 1.5, I believe, but it's in your course agenda that I provided for you previously. All right, class, I want you to be successful this semester. I'm very committed to doing my best to provide you the course material in a way that you can understand. Be patient with me. I'm going to need some time to learn how to use Zoom, but I hope at least you'll be able to follow these videos. And I hope when you see this first assignment, especially the problems you're going to turn in, you'll feel comfortable about the sort of stuff we're going to be doing this semester. Thank you very much.